Mr. President.
Senator from Louisiana.
Mr. President, I'm speaking about Social Security. Secretary Yellen spoke before the Senate Finance Committee last week, and for me, it was incredibly frustrating. When asked if the President would be willing to work with Congress, she held up a piece of paper and read that he stands ready to work with Congress, to meet with senators, to find a solution to Social Security. If we're speaking about the President personally meeting with us, there's no evidence that that is true. That has not been our experience. Now, it's been well reported in the press that there is a bipartisan group of senators working to find a solution to save Social Security. The President knows this. We've been unable to get an appointment with the President. And the reason we keep requesting a meeting with him is because we're told that no deal will be made without his personal sign-off. He has to be the one who tells those who work for him that this is the deal he wants. So if the President chooses to do nothing, that choice guarantees that someone currently receiving Social Security will get a 24% cut in the benefits that she receives. Now, let me just emphasize that. I was on talk radio this morning with Keel in Shreveport, Louisiana. Erin McCarty says, well, I'll be okay. I don't know how old Erin is, but she thinks that because she's of a certain age, she will not be affected. No, current law is if the President chooses to do nothing, Erin and everyone else who would currently be receiving Social Security will get a 24% cut in their current benefits. Someone who's depending upon this income to pay her bills, to buy her groceries, she gets a 24% cut in the amount that she's receiving. So there needs to be a choice between a massive, by law, 24% benefit cut, again, current law, and a real plan, a real choice to strengthen, to save, and to secure Social Security. To reference President Reagan, this is a time for choosing. We can't wait, because the longer we wait, the more expensive and the more drastic the solution becomes. And we shouldn't allow politicians to use Social Security as a political weapon, to beat people into submission, to claim that one side wishes to do nothing and they're going to rescue it, while offering nothing to stop this scheduled 24% cut. It may be good politics, it is irresponsible. Now, I will point out that President Biden's two Democratic predecessors, Obama and Clinton, both offered serious plans to address this looming Social Security fiscal cliff. President Biden, no plan, not in his budget. And in fact, when Secretary Yellen, when I asked her if they had modeled any of the things that she was referencing as a solution, they've not modeled it, which tells me they've not worked on it. There should absolutely be a sense of urgency. He should feel it the way that I feel it. I used to work in a hospital for the uninsured. Many of my poor patients, they depended upon social to pay their rent, to buy their groceries, to pay their utilities. I know what a 24% cut would mean to them. Now, by the way, on the solutions that we've been trying to come up with, an approach, if you will, certainly not a final plan, there's a lot of partial and inaccurate information. And by the way, we did that on purpose. The President has a right to have an imprint upon the final thing that we come up with. So we have things which are, yes, we could do it this way, but maybe do something else. We do add something to it, though. We think it's a novel solution that helps Social Security bridge to solvency and protects the Americans who rely upon it. And we add some things. One thing that we've spoken of, perhaps locally, but not nationally, is that those who are most cut by a 24% cut will be the police officers, the firefighters, the teachers, and many other state and local government officials who are unfairly penalized by two provisions in current law known as WEP and GPO. From my perspective, repealing WEP and GPO should be part of any conversation we have with the President if he agrees to meet, and should be part of any final proposal. But Americans of all generations, the silent generation, the boomers, the Gen X, the millennials, the Gen Z, they want to know that the program they've paid into their entire lives will be there when they need it. Now, it's a political truth that some issues are seen as a political third rail. I say choosing to do nothing, which means choosing that Social Security benefits will be cut by 24%, should be the third rail. We can't be guided by the fear of politics. We should be guided by the courage of our commitment to the American people, and particularly that American Senate senior, that he or she will not get this 24% cut. I ask once more, President Biden, please personally meet with a bipartisan group of senators. If I said something I shouldn't have to Secretary Yellen, I will at that point apologize. President Biden has a reputation as a deal maker. Let's make a deal. With that, I yield.